This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so just to re-summarize, yesterday we have discussed about the SDLC models and the static testing. So we know that sequential models and incremental models are there. So we discussed about the waterfall and V model. Basically, it will suit for small size of projects. Okay, and incremental models will be suitable for large as well as maintenance kind of projects. So whatever may be the size of the project and considering time, budget, and resources availability, okay, and based on the requirements and the size of the application, our organization and our test architect people and the test manager people, they will guide us to follow this type of model. Okay, so
Okay.
as a tester, we are not responsible for it, but just too good to have the knowledge on all the models which are available. So after that, we discussed about the testing techniques. So we discussed about the static testing and what are the activities involved in static testing. So
Mm-hmm.
testing means it's a process of verifying are we developing the right system or not. It is also called verification. This static testing will be conducted with the help of reviews and the walkthroughs. And reviews could be management review, technical review, formal review, and informal review, and the walkthroughs. So by conducting few walkthroughs and few review kind of thing, just we are just verifying the requirements in the form of reviews and walkthroughs, just to identifying the defects in early stages. It will lead to cost of fixing defects will be very less. It will be a good name and a good opinion on our company as well. And to the client also, the fixing defect is very less if we raise the defects in early phase. Raising the defects in the sense suggesting the ideas and any requirement gaps are there. Due to this, in this review process only, we can check with client and we can move ahead. So that is about the static testing. Just it's like a verification only. Okay.
Okay.
Whether it could be code review or test check, test review or whatever. Okay. So coming into the dynamic review, dynamic testing. So
Mm-hmm.
dynamic testing is it's a validating the source code and validating the executable application for its correctness. It's nothing but a dynamic testing. It is also called as validation. Okay.
Okay.
So source code in the sense, source code means uh, our development team would be preparing it. Just an example, I have taken this view page source. Development will be like this. So they would be developing their language like this.
Mm-hmm.
They are just validating. See, source means this URL they have given, not the URL. Some .js means JavaScript file URL they have given. Okay,
Okay.
so computer program will be a combination of JavaScript files and these files, that files, many of the accelerators, many of the coding techniques they will be using. Okay, so how they will validate with applying proper test data, proper inputs, valid inputs. Through valid
Okay.
inputs, they usually validate. See, as a tester, how we will validate. Okay, so whatever I have, see, as I told, a session is ready, already running. Text, checking this text is present or not. It's just a verifying. We are not doing anything on the screen. We are just seeing that whether text is there or not. But clicking on the close button means we are performing some action on this. Okay, and by clicking on this close button, our expectation should be this window box should be closed. So that is our validation. We are just We are validating this screen, this functionality is working or not. So by this way, this could be a major difference between verification and validation. You got it right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So that is the that is the dynamic testing. So development team would be validating their code which they have developed, and also we as a testers we usually validate our application based on the requirement they have given. Okay. So
Okay.
for dynamic testing has four types of techniques. Okay. One is unit testing. We can also call it
Okay.
as black box testing and structural testing or clear box testing. Unit testing only we can call it as glass box, structural and clear box. And second type of dynamic testing is integration testing. And third type is system testing. And fourth type is user acceptance testing. Okay,
Okay.
we will come everything one by one. Okay. So
Okay.
first come to the unit. So what is unit testing? A smallest separatable portion in the source code of the application, such as a program or a function or a procedure. It's nothing but an units. And also we can call it as modules and also we can call it as component. Okay.
Okay.
So testing conducted on these units to check the source code behind these units is working as expected or not is called unit testing. Okay. For
Okay.
example, unit testing will be fairly done by development team only. We should not bother about it. But still, yeah. So Choman, if you can look at my screen, I just written a sample code. Okay,
Okay.
it's not it's a sample piece of code. Okay, I'm just verifying which letter is bigger than here. Okay, whether 10 is 5. Okay, whether whatever the test date, what are the input I was giving, 10 comma 5. Okay, this is
Hmm.
a program. Okay, we can call it
Okay.
as unit. Okay, this type
Okay.
of units they would be integrated into the source code, many of them. Okay, some thousands of unit codes they would be doing, because source code and the code is combination of all these things. Okay, so just as per my knowledge I have written it. Okay, so
Okay.
we just read A and B here. Okay, if A greater than B, then print A is big, else print A is not big, and we just ended the if loop here. Okay,
Hmm.
so what is our input here? If I give the input as 10 comma 5, then expected could be A is big. Okay, here I have given the input as 5, 10. Then the expectation should be A is not big. Okay, like this way. Okay, the means here he is validating, the developer is validating his program, okay, his source code, his unit code by giving this inputs. Okay, so that
Okay.
he can know that his unit code is working or not. Basically, we
Okay.
can, yeah, basically we can call this process as debugging generally. Okay,
Okay.
debugging in the sense they would be reviewing whether their source code is correct or not. Okay, whatever they have written, if it is correct, by giving few inputs, whether this part is working or not. Okay, so if it is working, again they will create program number two, and again they will apply some logic here. Okay, based on the requirement. Again, they will just validate few other inputs line by line and small chunk by chunk they will do it and they will validate it. Okay, so that's the reason unit testing is also called as component testing and also called as module testing. We can call it as unit, module, and the component also. Okay, so
Okay.
debugging is nothing but a unit testing. Okay, and
Okay.
coming to the integration testing. Okay, once See, once all the source code units are completed, okay, completed and developed and unit tested, the programmers will integrate all these units and check the interactions among them, which is called integration testing. Okay, see,
Okay.
I told you right, source code. So, I mean, developers will be developing many things in the form of code fixes, many technologies they will be using. Okay, so program one, okay, like this, they would be developing like program 1 to 10, program 1 to 15. Many unit codes they would be developing like this. They would be writing a code like this. So in this integration testing, what they will do, they will just integrate all these tested unit codes. Okay, they will just integrate one way and they will just check the functionality. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so they would be just to verify they are they building the right system or not. They will just do the top to bottom up approach. Okay, according to their coding skills. Okay, so they will just do it. So that's the reason we can call it as system integration or system approach. See, you will not get any questions on this interview questions, but they will ask what is integration testing, who will perform it, what they will do generally. Okay, so you can say it like once the unit testing on the source code was done by developer, so all those unit codes will be taken and integrate in one place, and they will check the functionality in this integration testing. You can say like that. And in our company, developer has done this. Okay, you can say like that in the interview. They will just ask
Okay.
what are the levels of testing and what are all the testing techniques which you know. Okay, so hello.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that is the reason we can call it as white box testing. This unit testing and integration testing together, we can call it as white box testing. Okay.
Okay.
Just it's a basic funda for us, basic formula for us. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, every time we have to remember this. Okay, so the
Okay.
advantage of having this white box testing done by developer is finding defects is easy as the code is visible to developer, and to remove as many defects as possible in his developer environment, and fixing defects that are identified in black box testing is time consuming. Black box testing means we are the testers or responsible for that. After this, I'll let you know in detail. Okay. So because the root cause analysis takes time, okay, and white box testing is more economical when compared with the black box testing. And to ensure the code coverage also, developers will perform white box testing. Okay, so they would be doing their verification validation in their source code. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah. So generally, for white box testing, the techniques could be code coverage, statement coverage. Okay, so condition coverage. They would be testing all these things. Condition in the sense, see here the condition is if A greater than B. Okay, and
Okay.
they would be verifying whether this condition has properly written it or not. Okay, and the statement is correct or not. If the statement syntax, if we are not following it with the double quotes, this will not be printed. Okay, means if they get any syntax errors, they would be rectifying it, and again they will make it to in the right proper way. Okay, we can call it as statements actually. This particular line in the source coding language, we can call it a statement. Okay, these are nothing but a condition. What are the logic we have given? If A equal to B, then so and so should happen. If A less than B, so and so should happen. So like that, we are applying some condition. Okay, means the developer only. So like that by applying statement coverage, condition coverage, and path coverage. Path in the sense, uh, uh, how we can say, like just to achieve 100% statement coverage, I think they can call it as path coverage. Like it's not related to our testing rate, so even I do not have that much idea, but completely this white box testing will be taken care by the development team only. We should not bother about it. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because this will be conducted on the source code, not on the application. If it is on
Okay.
UI application, we would be taking care of it, but if it is on source code, development team has to take care of it. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, you got it right till now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And then we will, white box testing was completed. Now we will go with black box testing. So under this
Okay.
dynamic testing only, this black box and white box testing would be coming. Okay, so again, this black box testing, what is black box testing? Black box testing, we can call it as specification based testing, and also we can call it as behavioral testing. Okay, so testing conducted on the executable application by test engineers, means our testing team, or by domain experts to confirm does the application is working as per customer requirement or not, so that we can call it as black box testing. So what is black box testing? I mean, combination of system testing plus user acceptance testing.
Okay.
Here, white box testing is unit testing plus integration testing, right? So in the same way, I'm just returning BBT, means black box testing. Okay,
Okay.
system testing plus UAT means user acceptance testing. So combination of this both system testing and user acceptance testing, it's nothing but a black box testing. So testing conducted on executable application means suppose it has written this is the executable code. Okay, just to develop an application which was done by development team, it will become in the form of UA application for us, means for the testing team. So we are test engineers or subject matter experts in the sense, even in the client side also, they would be appointing the subject matter experts so they can give suggestions to improve their business. Okay, so they will also conduct the testing at their own place. Okay, just to ensure whether all the requirements, discussed requirements, whether it is working fine or not. Okay,
Okay.
just to ensure. just to ensure whether application is working fine or not as per the customer requirements. We can call it as black box testing. Okay, basically in the form of system testing and UAT, we can ensure that. Okay, so again for the system testing, we do have different types of testings. Okay, and UAT also, who will done it and where they will done it. I'll just let you know. Okay, so what is the purpose of this black box testing is black box testing will be carried out by test engineers with end user perspective. Means in the first class itself, I said, right, we as a testing team, we should have the mindset like end user mind perspective, means client perspective. We should own the application. We should think like this is my own application, and if it goes to outside of the market, how it should behave and how far it should, and without quality, how customers will feel. So just to avoid that, what are all the things I need to make that product or application makes it very better. So in that way, yeah, in that way we have to carry out our black box testing. Okay. Whereas the white box testing will be carried out by development team with the technical perspective.
Okay.
On what basis? Yeah, whether their source code is working or not, they will just have their mindset as technical perspective only. They do have coding standards, and they will also follow how their lead and the development architect was saying. So they will just their perspective is technical perspective, whether their code is working or not. So they will just divide their code into chunks of pieces, and they will integrate, and they will just try to work it or not. But as a black box tester, as a test engineer, every time we should have the customer perspective to how quality we can deliver that application to end user, means to the client. And also in white box testing, the developer who developed a program will hesitate to identify the defects on their own code. So whereas during our black box testing, our test engineer will work with an intention of identifying defects when there is a chance of finding more defects, which results in a quality system, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, so anyways, I mean, if assume that yeah, I'm a developer, okay, every time whether if I apply logic to my code, whether it is working or not, I have every time that intention only. But if you are a test engineer, every time you will have a mindset like, okay, if I enter so and so, if I click on this, whether it is navigating to this page or not. Okay,
Mhm.
if I click on this, whether it is navigating to so this and this page or not. Okay, so if I download this app, functionality is working or not. So our tester's mindset is like that, it is working or not, it is giving the correct input or not, correct output or not, like that. But if I'm a developer, if I develop this source code on this screen to develop, I'll just see whether this text developed or not, whether this button was coming or not. Sometimes due to the work pressure, and also they also sometimes they will be so few requirements. Okay, so that time we have to become active and we have to raise the defects. So that's the reason each and everything we have to take care of it from the application perspective. That's the way tester role is there. Okay,
Okay.
hope you got it right. Why we are
Yeah, yeah,
doing?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So non-functional areas of the system will not be verified by developer during white box testing. To validate the same, black box testing is required. Okay. Non-functional in the sense source code will not functional, right? So source code is a code. We are not. It's not functional. It's a code. Just backside of the screen, how much code they have developed, we can see it. This is not the US screen. We can call this as US screen. So just
okay,
to verify and validate, we are required. Means black box testing is required. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So system testing. Coming to the system testing. What is system testing? Validating both functional and non-functional areas of the application is called system testing. Okay, so system testing is further divided into functional system testing and non-functional system testing. First, we will discuss on functional system testing. What is functional system testing? Validating various functionalities in the application to confirm what the system is supposed to do and what the system not supposed to do is called functional system testing. Okay, so we can conduct this functional system testing by positive testing and negative testing. Okay, how we will perform positive testing? Validating a functionality with positive perception to check what system is supposed to do is called positive testing. Okay, for example, I'm taking Gmail page. Okay, here I'm validating the functionality. Okay, usually after clicking on this, what it should happen positively, what it should happen, it will takes me to enter the password page, right? This is a requirement. So assume that I'm a tester. I'm testing this. I'm clicking on this. I'm sorry. Sorry. This is the requirement. Okay. We are in sign-in page. We have to give the email and we have to click on next. After clicking on next, we should navigate to the password page. Password with this text box should be there. Okay, so this is my requirement and I'm a tester and I am working on this, means I am validating this screen. Okay, this is the input I was giving. Okay, I'm clicking on next. Okay, as expected, I got this screen after entering to this username. Okay, this is positive testing. Okay, we are validating this sign-in functionality with the positive perception. Okay, what a system supposed to do means, say this application was supposed to do this only. Okay, after clicking on next, it was entering to the screen only. Okay, so this is, we can call it as positive testing. And how we will do negative testing? Validating the same functionality in the system with a negative perception to check what system not supposed to do. We can call it as negative testing. Means entering an invalid username and invalid password and clicking on submit to check how does the login is functionally for invalid inputs. We can call it as negative testing.
Okay.
Means same login functionality, we will give invalid. See, my email ID is sandhya.15 immediately, right? Okay. I will give 11. Okay, instead of 15, 11. Okay. In this case, what is the error message it has to thrown? It has to thrown incorrect username. Okay. If I click on this next also, this application should not move to proceed to enter the password because this is not the valid one. Okay. So by giving the wrong inputs, here this we can call as wrong input. This is input or the test data. So that by giving wrong inputs and the wrong test data, here also we are validating it so that we can call it as negative testing.
Okay.
See, this is the error message I need to get. Means I should not proceed to the next screen because this email ID is not there.
Okay.
So in this way, we can do our negative testing also. Okay.
So purposely you're putting the wrong one, right?
Yes. Purposely we are doing that so that how if I give the wrong input, okay, how the application will behave. That also we should verify, right?
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
only a positive way. We have to test our application negative way also.
Okay. So it's called negative testing.
Yes, negative testing.
And you are putting the right one, positive testing.
Yes. By giving the right valid input, it's a positive testing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, by keeping the same. Okay. I'm just changing just for an explanation. Okay. So anyways, it's a invalid input. So the system should throw the errors. Means we have to test these errors also. So this type of error conditions, this type of everything, they will mention in the requirement document by business analyst team. If they did not mention and if you are not clear about it, sometimes the requirement documents are not clearly mentioned. And if you did not catch the point, what they were saying about, then you can ask your questions to the business analyst team. Okay, who is the point of contact when you are working for a project? Okay, so like that we have to move forward. So it's not only the positive way, we have to work, test the application in negative way also. Okay, whatever the type of test, whatever you have to test, everything they'll mention in the requirement document. Accordingly, you have to do it. Okay. So this is both combination of positive testing and negative testing. We can call it as function system testing. Okay.
Okay.
We can discuss on non-function system testing. Okay. What is non-function system testing? Validating various non-functional areas of the system, such as user interfaces, user friendliness, performance, security, and compatibility. So it's nothing but a non-functionality of the testing. Okay, means uh, performance, security, load, stress, all this type of testing will comes under non-functional type of testing. Purely, we are not responsible to do that. Separate performance testing team will be there. They will be doing that. They do have performance testing tool will be there. Okay, load runner, JMeter. Okay, they would be testing the performance of the application. How they will perform? See, right now I'm only the one user. Okay, I'm only the one user. One user, and I'm able to log in. That time my application is not slow and it is working as expected. Imagine if this Gmail same page, if the Gmail was logging to the same page with 1,000 people at a time, at the same time. That time the performance testing team has to validate how well my application is working in terms of load. Means at a time 1,000 members are logging into the same page. So by the time we have to check our application performance by conducting the load testing. Okay. And the stress testing means, we have to apply stress on the application by adding more number of logins. Means for that only they will be using performance testing tool. They do have their different techniques. They will just record the application and they will apply few correlations, enhancements, and they will just achieve their non-functional areas of the testing for the application. So it's a separate testing team. In the first class itself, I told you, right? Manual testing team, functional testing team, and the uh, non-performance testing team. So automation testing team has their own tools for automate the code, okay, and they will just do their own task. And performance testing team has their own tool, which is performance testing tool. They will do their own task. And we are a manual testing team. We would be testing our test cases manually only, and we do not have any tool to execute. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So system testing is both combination of functional testing and non-functional testing. And how we'll perform functional testing through positive testing and negative testing, we'll perform our functional system testing. Okay. And whereas non-functional testing will be done by a separate performance testing team, they will be doing performance, security, compatibility, load, and stress. This type of testing will be performed by them. Okay. So in interview, they will ask you what are all the types of testing and whatever you know. Just This just they will expect a few definition whether you have understanding or not. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So coming into fourth type of testing is user acceptance testing. Okay. What it is generally. So once the system testing is completed, the application will be delivered to the customer. We are responsible to do the system testing, means we the testing team. Okay, so once the system testing is completed, we will be delivering that application to the client. Okay, now the customer will perform a cross check on the delivered application to confirm does the delivered application fit for live usage or not. Okay, he will check whether we can release this application to the market, whether it is live usage or not. Okay, the purpose, the main objective of user acceptance test is to confirm that the delivered application is ready for live usage or not. It's not to identify the defects, whether we can move that application to the production or not. Okay. So this also be conducted in the form of two stages, which is alpha testing and beta testing. Okay, alpha testing it is the first level of acceptance testing conducted by the client, okay, or by domain experts at in our location. In our location, this is in our organization. Means they will not come and they will not check whatever the test data, I mean, whatever the valid input which he is trying to use it, they will only provide in confidentially, and they will ask us to test that. Okay. And beta testing. It is the last level of acceptance testing conducted by customer or domain experts at customer premises. Okay. Customer premises means in his own place, in his own location, he will test it. That time we will not be present. Okay. So,
Okay.
and it is recommended that acceptance testing should be carried out by end user only, means the customer only, so that he can test the application very comfortably. So the intention is not to find the defects, whether acceptance in the name itself, it was there, customer in that phase, customer has to accept the application. So he can just see whether we can just move this application to the live or not, to the market. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So like that. So just we discussed about white box testing and black box testing. Okay. So black box testing is nothing but a combination of system testing and user acceptance testing. Okay. And whereas white box testing is a combination of unit testing and integration testing, completely be performed by the development team. Okay. This is completely done by our testing team. Okay,
Okay.
based on customers' needs, sometime UAT testing will be performed by our testing team. Okay, for that separate environment will be given. Okay, environment in the sense the URL will be different. Okay, URL in
Okay.
the sense www dot, just as an example I was saying, gmail dot dev dot com. Okay, the same URL they will create it in our test environment. Okay.
Okay.
They will just use it in UAT environment, or if they need it, they can ask us to do it in pre-prod also. Whatever
Okay.
pre-prod means, which is equivalent to production environment. Okay, URLs will be different. Okay, the application will be same. Okay, that for us testing team they will be giving like this. Maximum whatever application they have given it, you can see your test environment name here. If it is test, you can see it. Okay, if it is UAT, you can see the URL. You can identify the URL basically like this. Okay, based on the organization, maybe terminology will be different, but ideally it should be like this. Okay.
Okay.
So black box testing has also his own testing techniques, basically just to leverage and to also to ensure that requirement coverage is properly done or not. We do have black box testing techniques. It is very, very important. In tomorrow's class, I will cover it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So meanwhile, if you have the time, you just go through that material. So in tomorrow, if I explain you, it will be very easy to understand. Okay. Black
Okay.
box testing techniques. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is for today. If you have any queries, please post me.
Okay. No
Uh,
problem.
okay. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm ending my session. Okay.
Okay.